going on, people? Today I'm going to be talking about Knives Out on Blu-ray and 4K. And since I didn't see this in theaters, I am going to go straight into the movie review first. This movie was actually, it was pretty good, and I expected it to be. Even though I want Rian Johnson to stay far away from Star Wars, and I mean far away. I actually like his films. I actually like his first Mystery Brick. That movie was really on my mind when I wanted to know what to expect from this movie because, it's a movie to live up to just because of the fact that it's a damn good movie. When the movie settled down and when I was introduced to all these characters and when I got to know them a little bit better, I softened up to them and I really started to enjoy them. Specifically, Daniel Craig's character here as the PI, the private investigator. He is great here, and he has the right sense of a cop that is. He seems to be kind of bumbling, but really he kind of knows what he is doing. And this movie actually had a couple of twists and turns that I didn't expect, and that is something that not every movie can do. And with all that being said, I'm going to give this an 8 out of 10. Anybody that doesn't want to see this because of Rian Johnson and The Last Jedi, you know what? Give it a chance. You might like it. And I did. And getting into the video quality, starting off with the Blu-ray, this movie was shot digitally, but a lot of film grain was added in post, and that is just to create the feel of this being an older film and kind of having a more timeless feel to this movie. I feel like that is something that they wanted, even though that they mentioned cell phones and Twitter and a lot of those kind of things. I feel like it is introduced minimally here, and that is on purpose. So basically what you have is a movie that was made to look like it was shot on film. And that does not get in the way of the clarity here. So the clarity is pretty good. I am not going to say that it is razor sharp, but it is a consistent sharpness throughout, even in wider shots. Detail is great. I know that I've been saying this with some of the dramas that we've been talking about lately, but in these particular kinds of dramas, whether it's period piece or a movie that has a lot of particular clothing and a particular setting, you're going to want to look at the background and look at the stitching on the clothing for detail and a lot of details in people's faces for close-ups, and you know what? All of that is here. It is present. It is great. And I definitely do get all of the signs that this was a very, very well thought out transfer, and I would like to say that the black levels here are very well done. They dip fully to black, not to gray. Excellent work. 9 out of 10. And getting into the 4K copy here, this movie was actually given a 2K digital intermediate, so this is upscaled to 4K. But on the flip side, they did give us Dolby Vision support, and that does bring a lot, and we'll definitely talk about that. So, clarity here is almost identical to the Blu-ray, but detail work does get a decent bump up when you take a look at stitching of clothing or a lot of the backgrounds, whether it's a bookcase or specifically one that I definitely noticed was the shot of Daniel Craig sitting in front of all of the knives behind him, and you can definitely see a lot of the details in the knives of that scenery, and that is something that was actually upgraded here in the 4K. And then when you get into the HDR, this movie isn't going to blow people away with its HDR, but it is nice. It has more of a richness to the color palette. Dolby Vision definitely helps that out, and it just makes a lot of the yellowish hues that are in this movie more prominent. And that is something that is important to the feel of this movie. And along with that, some of the outdoor scenes do have stronger lighting in them than the Blu-ray. But with that being said, this movie isn't going to wow anybody with this HDR, but it is a very nice upgrade from the Blu-ray, and that is why I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. And getting into the audio here, whether you bought this on Blu-ray or 4K, you get the same Dolby Atmos mix that is really damn good, and this is one that I didn't expect to be that great. The score here is excellent. I do love the score of this movie, and it is presented in a very wide, very expansive audio track that is great. It fills up the whole entire room. It is wonderful in that way. Even the high speakers get the score through it. Bass response is prominently used for the score of this movie, and when you get towards the end, you do have some more action-y elements that use the bass pretty well, but for the most part, you do have it with the score. And vocals are very nice and very clean, very crisp. I feel like this is a very nice Dolby Atmos mix for the movie that complements the movie, and I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. And as far as the digital copy here goes, this is a typical Lionsgate digital copy where you go to their website, redeem the code, and then you get the option to download this on iTunes, Vudu, or Google Play. As far as that is concerned, you get the 4K copy there. And getting into the special features here, this is something that is really cool, and it is something that Lionsgate likes to do, and they have ported all of the special features over to the 4K disc, and there are a decent amount of them. There are actually 2 audio commentaries, one with the writers and Rian Johnson and some of the producers, and one with Rian Johnson during a screening of the film, and then a whole crap load of featurettes. One of them is almost 2 hours long, and that one is actually particularly the one that stands out to me. It goes into a lot of the finer details into the production of this film, and then you get some theatrical trailers as well, some digital stills. I feel like this is going pretty above and beyond as far as special features goes. I'm actually going to give this a 9 out of 10. And getting into my last looks here, you know, I never wanted to hold The Last Jedi against Rian Johnson. I don't like the movie, but I don't really feel like he needs to be burned at the stake for it. I gave this movie a fair chance, and after a while, I definitely warmed up to this movie, and I was along for the ride that it took me on. A lot of twists, a lot of turns here, and Ana de Armas is actually really good here, along with the cast. I feel like the cast in this movie is really great. I love Daniel Craig here, and it's just a really fun movie to watch. And when you add up all my scores for Knives Out in Blu-ray and 4K, you get the same grade of a 34 out of 40. The special features actually really saved this one. There are a decent amount of special features here. And if you're interested in this movie, specifically the making of this movie, you will be very well served here by them. So coming up next on the channel, we are going to hit a little bit of a lull. That I have some ideas for some things to keep the channel going throughout that lull. But then at the end of this month, we are going to be hitting something very special. I cannot wait to I can't wait to share it with you guys. And in the meantime, in the middle there, I believe we have 1917 to get to. That is going to be coming out in a few weeks on 4K. I'm definitely going to be picking that up and loving it. So if you guys are excited about that, comment down below. Let me know about some things that you might want me to review or talk about while we experience this little lull that we are in. And as always, thank you for watching my videos. You guys are awesome. I don't need to say it because you know it. And I will see all of you next time.